Hello everyone, welcome back for the fourth session of Assessment of Companies chapter, subject Business Taxation for final year BCom students. So in the last session we have learnt about to find out the total income or taxable income or tax liability under normal provisions. So let us see in this session some more illustration. By solving that we'll get to know how to calculate taxable income or tax liability under normal provision. Let us start with an illustration. Rising Sun Company Limited is engaged in the business of manufacturing of computer components. The profit and loss account of the company for the year ending 31st 3 2014 is given below. Remember, change the particular date as this is the question paper of 2015. So you need to change the date. Change the date as 31 3 2019. Let us start with the table. Profit and loss account. On the debit side we have salary to staff, audit fees, bad debts, depreciation, income tax, dividend distribution tax, donation to NDF, wealth tax, custom duty payable, and also net profit. On the credit side, gross profit, amount withdrawn from general reserve which was created in 1996-97 by debiting profit and loss account, which is the amount of rupees 1,60,000. And also we have some other informations. Depreciation allowable as per IT rules works out to rupees 1,45,500. Brought forward business loss for rupees 3,50,000. Brought forward unabsorbed depreciation rupees 1,45,000. In these two they have given loss amount. So these loss amount should be deducted from the respective income while doing total income. That is second step. Next point is the custom duty payable rupees 12,000 was paid before the filing return. Then company is eligible for following deductions. Deduction under section 80 IB, which is 25% of 28,50,000. Deduction under section 80G in respect of donation to NDF. The deduction under section 80 IB, which will be related to industrial undertaking but other than infrastructure development undertakings. Under this we will be considering so many percentages which may be small scale industry or industry is located under backward areas, backward category of A or backward category of B, and also it may under cold storage area or any other particular areas. Under that we have so many percentages, but in this illustration as they have already given the percentage, we are supposed to calculate the same percentage while calculating the deductions. And also you can see they have already given the amount which is rupees 28,50,000. On this amount only we need to take 25%. If they have not mentioned that particular amount in the illustration, then we need to take that percentage on business income. That is what we are going to do under step 1. What we are going to get as taxable income from business, on that income we are supposed to take 25%. And one more deduction which is under section 80G, which they have already mentioned it. If not, also we are supposed to take 80G deduction because it is mentioned in the profit and loss account table. So while taking that deduction under section 80G, as this is related to NDF, that is National Defence Fund, which will not come under that 8 donations which I have explained for you. If this donation is not under that 8 categories, then you can easily say this donation will applicable as 100%. We are supposed to take 100% whatever the donation they have contributed. And they have said to calculate total income of company limited and tax liability for the assessment year 2014-15. Here it has been, please make a change as assessment year 2019-20. As they have told us to calculate the total income as well as tax liability, we are supposed to calculate all the 3 steps. First one, taxable income from business, total income, and tax liability, which is under normal provision. Starting with the step 1, let us take on a heading as computation of taxable income from business of Rising Sun Company Limited, particulars rupees. First we are going to always start net profit or loss as per profit and loss account. As you can see in the question, net profit, which is amount of rupees 28,50,000 that we are supposed to take. Net profit or loss as per P&L account 28,50,000 in outer column. Then we need to add first one as non-business expenses debited to profit and loss account. As you can see the table of profit and loss account, on the debit side we need to take non-business expenses. First one, salary to staff, which is related to business. Next, audit fees and bad debts also related to business. We have a depreciation amount of rupees 1,62,500. It is non-business. Only we need to take whether if the depreciation is allowable as per IT rules. That is also mentioned in the additional information. Then we can take that 1,62,500 can be added and the allowable amount can be deducted. Depreciation 1,62,500. Next we have income tax. As I told you, all the direct taxes will be non-business. So this is also direct tax. Income tax of rupees 75,000. Next we have a dividend distribution tax. This is also related to non-business, as the dividends which will be paid to shareholders. On that they will pay the tax. That is also amount of rupees 62,500. Next we have a donation to NDF. As the donation amount of rupees 60,000, it is also non-business. Donation to NDF 60,000. Wealth tax. As wealth tax is related to direct tax, then even though if it is abolished, it will be direct tax. Then we need to take it as 75,000. Next we have custom duty payable. As you can see, custom duty payable is amount of rupees 62,000. For this we have one adjustment. As the custom duty payable rupees 12,000 was paid before filing the returns. Only 12,000 is paid before filing returns. Rest of the amount which is not paid before the date. So we need to take out that 12,000 and left out amount will be considered as non-business because that is not paid before the due date. Apart from this, on the debit side we don't have any non-business expenditures. Then we'll go with the second one, which is business income not credited to profit and loss account. For this we need to check the other information. Under that we don't have any income. As you can see, first one is expenses. Next to our loss, custom duty which is already done, and also we have deduction. So that is the reason there will be no income. It will be also nil. Third one is overvaluation of opening stock. As we don't have any opening stock, then it will be nil. And also undervaluation of closing stock also will be nil. If you do the total, we'll get an amount of 4,85,000. If we add it with the net profit, we'll get 33,35,000. While doing less, first we need to take non-business income credited to profit and loss account. For that we need to check the credit side of profit and loss account. Here we have only one item, that is amount withdrawn from general reserve, which was created in 1996 to 1997 by debiting profit and loss account. This is the amount which is withdrawn from general reserve, which was created in the year 96-97 by debiting to profit and loss account. Remember, this particular amount will be considered as non-business because it is related to general reserve. Even if they have depositing it or if they are withdrawing it, then it will be considered as non-business. But one thing, for this we are not going to pay any tax at all. That is the reason it will be exempted while doing second step, but in the first step we need to consider it as non-business. Let us take is amount withdrawn from general reserve, which is the amount of rupees 1,60,000. Apart from that we don't have any incomes on the credit side. Let us go with the second point. Business expenses not debited to profit and loss account. Expenditures which is related to business, which is in the place of adjustments, we can take it. We have only one, that is depreciation allowable. Allowable will be considered as business, amount of rupees 1,45,500. Apart from that we don't have any other business expenses in the adjustment. Next, overvaluation of closing stock, undervaluation of opening stock, both will be nil as we don't have any opening stock, closing stock. Then if we do total, we'll get our amount of 3,05,500. By deducting that with the amount, we'll get taxable income from business amount of rupees 30,29,500. Let us start with the second step, which is the heading of computation of total income or taxable income. For this, we are going to always start with the heads of income. We will have 4 heads of income except salary. So first head of the income is income from house property. While calculating this, we are supposed to take the incomes. That income will be mentioned in the illustration, as well as whatever the income we have taken on the first step under non-business income credited to profit and loss account. You can see that income and you can record here. The first income is income from house property. So let us see whether we have that income or not. As you can see, first one is we don't have any income under that except amount withdrawn from reserve. So house property income will be nil. Second one is income from business or profession. For this, we need to take the total of the first step, that is the taxable income from business, that is 30,29,500. If we have any losses which is related to respected incomes, suppose if we have a loss of house property, we can deduct that house property loss under income from house property. If we are having a loss of a business or speculation business, then we can deduct that loss from income from business. If we are having a loss under capital assets, we can deduct that from capital gains. So in this illustration, we have 2 losses. One is loss which is related to business, and one more which is related to unabsorbed depreciation. Unabsorbed depreciation is nothing but it is an amount of depreciation which the assessee couldn't claim as expenditure in his profit and loss account because due to lack of sufficient amount which is in the business. That is the reason that will be a due amount that will be taken as unabsorbed depreciation, and it is also called as loss that can be carried forward for number of years. As you can see in the illustration, we have 2 losses. One is brought forward business loss rupees 3,50,000, and one more is brought forward unabsorbed depreciation rupees 1,45,000. So those 2 losses we are supposed to deduct under business income. Business loss can be deducted under business income. Then why the depreciation need to be deducted? If the respected income it is there in the illustration, we can deduct from it. If not, we can deduct from any other income. That is the reason I have taken that loss under business income only. Brought forward business loss 3,50,000, brought forward unabsorbed depreciation 1,45,000, totally 25,34,500. The next income is income from capital gain. As you can see in the first step, we don't have any income which is related to capital gains. You need to take a short-term capital gain, long-term capital gain, or any income from sale of fixed assets or any assets. Income from other sources also, we don't have any of it, as the amount withdrawn from reserves will not be taken into taxation, so it will be also nil. If we do total, that is gross total income 25,34,500. Next, we need to go with the deduction which will come under 80G and also 80IB, which we have already in the illustration. Let us take with the first deduction under section 80IB 25%, which is on 28,50,000. Deduction under section 80IB 28,50,000 into 25%, you will get an amount of rupees 7,12,500. Next, we have a deduction under section 80G, that is donation to NDF, 60,000 into 100%, amount is 60,000. After deducting that deduction, I'll get 17,62,000 as total income or taxable income. Let us go with the third step, computation of tax liability, which is under normal provision. First, we always start with short-term capital gain, which is 15%. This we are supposed to check in the second step what we have done. Here income from capital gains, it is nil. We don't have any capital gains. so then we can consider it as nil. And also we don't have any long-term capital gain, that will be also nil. Next we have casual income. As you can see, other sources doesn't have any income, so you can take that casual income also as nil. And the last one, tax on other income. For this you can easily take the total income, that is 17,62,000. From that you need to take the percentage of 25%. Why we need to take 25%? In the sense, gross total income doesn't exceeded 250 crores. That is the reason I have taken 25%. Total tax is 4,40,500. Next I need to add surcharge. The total income doesn't exceeded 1 crore. That is the reason it will be nil. The total will be same, 4,40,500. After getting that amount, then we need to add health and education cess, which is 4%, which that 4% need to be taken on 4,40,500. You will get an amount of rupees 17,620. By adding it, we'll get a tax liability which is under normal provision of rupees 4,58,120. I hope you guys have understood this illustration. Let me give one more illustration. This is the illustration which is asked in 2016. You can change the date as they have mentioned previous year as 2014-15. So you need to consider it as 2018-19. If you are having any doubts, please mention in the comment section, and thank you for watching.